So, welcome everybody to another episode of Coaches Unleashed and Other Stories. I am so excited. Today we have Pelpina.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Pelpina is a sought-after trainer and international speaker, and she has a knack for all things video, social video.
Yes.
So, Pelpina, welcome to the show. It's lovely
Thank
to have
you.
you.
Yes, it's wonderful to talk to you. I'm excited.
So, Pelpina, we actually met because I bought one of your first English book, Video
Right.
Smart.
Yes, this is true. Yes, this was about, it's been 3.5 years since Video Smart. It's crazy, but yes, that was my first English book.
Amazing book because I started becoming quite passionate about video, sort of
Uh,
social video around then, and I thought I need to get some help on this. And your book was just wonderful, so inspirational. So
I'm
thank
so
you for
happy
that.
to hear that. I'm so happy. And here we are videoing. So it worked.
It worked exactly. So you have a beautiful microphone. I forgot my beautiful microphone that
Oh,
you
it's
you
huge.
helped me
Yes.
find. I left mine in the office, but it's huge. It's lovely. I love it.
It works well. Yes. As long as I speak into it like this.
Beautiful. So Pilpina, tell us, who are you?
Well, my name is Pelpina. That's my actual name. I get a lot of questions about. So is that your real name or is that a company name? No, it's my actual name. It's a Moluccan name. So my
Mhm.
mother's family is from the Moluccan Islands in Indonesia. I'm Dutch, so I was born and raised in the Netherlands. When I was 19, I moved to Texas, and I have been living in the Netherlands for 10 years with my husband, our 3 children. And as you said, I
Mm,
love creating videos.
beautiful. So Pilpina, what is it that drives and defines you? What would you say that is?
What drives me? I really enjoy um learning new things and constantly developing myself.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's been driving me when it comes to my career, but also when it comes to my personal life. So I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person, and I love to constantly develop myself. So when it comes to creating videos, for example, when I worked in television, I was a journalist, and we worked with big cameras and huge studios and teams, um, and I was doing these three times a day. I was live on air. For 1 minute, and I learned how to tell a story in just a minute. But
Mhm.
what changed was the technology. So I loved exploring how I could use Twitter at the time and Google Plus at the time. This is a long time ago. And I loved exploring how to use less stuff to get the same result. And at the time, I was trying to get journalists to be on Twitter, which they thought was really silly. They said, "No, we're making television. We're not. Why should we be online?" So I've always been someone who likes to explore and likes to push for new things. And nowadays, I make videos using just my phone,
Mhm.
usually by myself, because you can do. I believe you can create great videos that can reach an audience, that can help people. So you are seen, so your message is understood, using simply your phone. So that's what I do now.
That's
Um, and
great.
and I think that's, to answer your question, it's like that for I think every aspect of my life. I like to just develop and explore and discover things that I'm really scared of and see, "Oh, okay, so this scares me, so maybe I should do something with this."
Lovely. So as a coach, I'm reading so much into what you just said. I mean,
Ah,
going out of your comfort zone, it seems to me that you're always in your stretch zone, always growing, have a sort of what we call a growth mindset. And
that's a
I,
good way, yes, to
yeah,
describe it.
yeah,
Yes.
the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and how in today's world, you
Ah,
really need that growth mindset. You need to feel that you're growing and developing and reinventing yourself almost constantly, because that is the speed at which the world is changing.
And it's
And I
so
love,
challenging at the same time because, so just, to be honest, I find it very difficult that the world is changing so fast. And and when it comes to technology, when AI came around, I don't know, when was this? A year and a half ago. To be honest, I was very overwhelmed and I was just thinking, oh no, there's more. Now everything is changing again. And how am I
yes.
going to change along with this? And I just want to curl up in a corner and just be fine with all the tools that we have now because they are great. But then I also like to challenge myself, and I know if I'm struggling to understand these tools and so many people are struggling with me, so then I challenge myself, okay, so how am I going to discover, how am I going to keep up with the pace? And that's why I wrote another book. It was a way to, 'cause I don't like writing. You would think I like to write. I don't like writing, but I do like to discover and I do like to keep up. So I challenge myself to write another book on creating videos using simple tools, but also AI tools. Um,
Mm,
so because all the AI tools nowadays, I think they can be quite overwhelming. And
mm.
if they overwhelm me, I'm sure they overwhelm a lot of people. So I like to make things simple and yeah, so it's not like I just, I'm here just happy, like, yay, let's discover all these tools. No, in fact, I'm often very like miserable with the tools that are out there, and then I'm determined to come up with a way to make it more simple.
Yeah. So you talked about your book, and I just want to just put that on this side for a moment, but we will get back to your book because
Yes.
I want to know more about your book. I just want to just mention something that you said, how when you were a TV presenter, you talking with when you were doing TV, you had to synthesize something down to a minute. I found that
Yes.
really interesting because that is often what we need to do. I call that the elevator pitch when you go for interviews where people ask you, so tell me, who are you? And you literally have between, normally up to maximum of 3 minutes to just tell in a nutshell who you are. And
Yes.
more importantly, what you say needs to resonate with the interviewer,
And it's
and
so difficult.
so
This is the
difficult.
most difficult part. So quite often, when I do video trainings and workshops, and I ask people beforehand, please come up with a topic that you can create a video on. People will say, "Well, I'll do something about myself. I'll just do a pitch." And I'll say, that's probably the most difficult thing for you to do a practice video on, because most people find it very difficult to explain in just a minute or even less who you are, what you do, or what drives you. It's very difficult. It's much easier to create a documentary. And that's often what we want to do. So we want to put all the information in there from A to Z, and we want to just put everything in there. It's way more difficult to create just the trailer or the teaser for the documentary.
Yeah, I would love
It's
to come to
hard.
one of your lessons, one of your
Oh yeah.
classes. Amazing. Sounds like so much fun. So who kind of benefits from your influence and from your, from the work that you do? Who are the people that you
So people
work
who
with?
struggle with, first of all, getting their message right.
Mhm.
And in when it comes to video, your message should be visual. So, at least I hope it is. So I hope that we can see something in your videos that's interesting. People who struggle with putting their message in a shorter time frame, because it's often really difficult, as we just talked about, to um, say something in a short way. And it could be about you, it could be about a brand or a company or a product, but just summarizing it and really getting down to, so what is really in it for your target audience. That's really difficult. So that's one thing. But then also presenting yourself or being in front of a camera, that's often very difficult for a lot of people. Most people don't find it fun to be in front of a camera. So I have interviewed a ton of people, and I've helped people get more comfortable in front of a camera, sometimes more successful than other times, but usually it's all about really trying to have a conversation with your viewer. And the third thing I help people with, and this is often why people first come to me, and then they realize they actually need something else. But people often first come to me for the tools.
Mm,
So they first think, oh, I'm going to create a video. What do I need? So,
yeah.
should I buy a ring light? Should I get a good microphone? What type of microphone? And I always compare it to when I try something new. So for example, I signed up for a 5K, 5 kilometer run. And this is always a thing for me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna sign up for a 5 kilometer run. And I'm not really a great runner, don't really, enjoy it that much. But then I think, okay, so what do I need? What should I buy? Should I get these shoes or this outfit? Uh, but I know it doesn't help. So the first thing you should actually do is just get out those old shoes out of your closet and just start running.
Yeah,
And then
train.
discover, yes, and then discover what you actually need. And the same thing goes for video. So you often think, oh, what should I buy? What should I get? But you really just need to start doing it. Just get your phone. Um, then discover what your message is and who you're talking to and what really you want to show people. And then you'll discover also what you need tool wise. So you'll discover, oh, maybe I could just use my phone, or maybe I should use this microphone or that microphone because I'm interviewing people. Um, or maybe I do need a small light because I'll be filming on location often. But you need to start first and you need to really make some hours, and then you know what tools you use. But the funny thing is that often people first come up with the tools. So they first are like, so you need to help me come up with you know, a good microphone, or what
Yeah.
phone should I buy? This is a very what phone should I get? What phone do you have? They'll ask me.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
phone
it
do you have?
sounds like a protective mechanism almost, no? Not to really get to the nitty-gritty, which is what are you going to talk about, and
Yes.
what kind of message you want to get across.
This is the most
Um,
difficult part. And
yeah,
it's yes, and it's the tools is just one thing, It is sure having a good phone helps, but it should not be your foundation. And if you have the same phone as I have, doesn't mean we'll make the same videos.
absolutely. Absolutely. So
No.
the people that you use, are they like freelancers? Are they people that work in multinational companies?
Yes, it's
What kind
mainly
of
it's yes, it depends. So when it comes to my trainings so I do a lot of in company trainings or in lectures and master classes, and that's usually 2 3 times a week. And that's usually for bigger companies. So I train like a whole team. A whole communication team, for example, like an entire communication department. But then I also do smaller workshops or trainings, or I love working with nonprofits and entrepreneurs, people who are solopreneurs, so people who are working on their own, just like me, who are also struggling with their visibility, and or people who have a smaller company but are really looking for ways to create video content in that's not too expensive, that's simple to use. So it's very broad. It's very broad. And I've tried to make it smaller, but it's really difficult for me.
But I see some of your first of all, I want to just acknowledge the word solopreneur because I'm also a solopreneur and I've put that on my
Yes.
LinkedIn. I love that word, solopreneur.
It's good, right? Yes, it's
Yeah,
good.
because it's different when you have a startup and you have a team of people
Yes.
that you can bounce ideas off, but when you're solo,
Yes.
it's also things like this, like that, reaching out and doing these kind of interviews that helps to make us feel a little bit less alone, I think.
Yes, it's so important. I don't know when I first came across this term, but it really describes exactly what we do. And yes, sometimes it can feel lonely because it's just you.
Yeah,
And but it's so much better. It's such a good term. It's such a good
yeah,
term for what we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was going to say something else, but I now have forgotten what I was going to say. So I
That's
just want to
okay.
talk to
That's
you.
okay.
talk to you about your just your personal journey. I'm a bit curious about your personal journey and how it's shaped what you're doing today.
Oh, so I've always, when it comes to my career, when I was a little girl, I made stories. I have this yellow recorder and I'm looking around me because it's somewhere in this room. But I used to have this bright yellow tape recorder. Remember when we had tapes?
Yeah.
So it was a tape recorder with a microphone. It was actually a sing-along tape recorder.
Yeah.
And I would make up stories and come up with series. Like I had this whole series of, I don't know, this thing. And I would record it and come up with new episodes every week. And my family would have to listen to this. And my mom found this tape recorder a while back. So I still have it. But that's where it started. And then I had these family newspapers that I would write. And when I was 13, I joined the local, like very local news radio here in the Netherlands. And I learned how to tell stories using a microphone. And I learned to go up out on the street, interview people, and I really enjoyed it. And then I started studying first here in the Netherlands, media and entertainment management. But I've always loved just telling stories, and whether it was through radio or with video or on TV, um, it's always been one thing I really enjoy. I really enjoy doing, and I really enjoy helping other people tell their story too. So yeah. So when I came to the United States, when I was 19, we moved to Denton, Texas,
Mhm.
and they had a wonderful university with amazing media facilities, and that's where I learned um, so much about traditional TV producing. It was like, to me, it was like a playground every day. I absolutely loved it. But it's always been something I do, and the tools have changed, so I don't have the yellow tape recorder anymore. But I think I still do what I enjoy doing. And I think also on a deeper note, I think it's helped me develop myself as well. So I've always been very shy. And people are always surprised to discover this, but I'm a very shy person by nature. I enjoy being by myself. And so I challenge myself every time I'm out there, every time I'm speaking on a stage. I get so nervous. I don't eat beforehand. It's like super nerve-wracking for me. Um, when I'm doing a training nowadays, it's better because I've done this for, I don't know, a long time. But I also think it's almost like therapy. It's like you have to
Push
every
yourself
time I'm
out there. Yeah.
Yes, every time I'm facing a group or I'm facing people and they ask me questions. The first time people asked me questions, I did the complete wrong thing. I pretended I knew the answer, even if I didn't know the answer. I pretended I knew the answer because I didn't want to look bad. And because I was like, well, I'm the trainer, so I should know the answer. And it takes, a while to discover that that's not how it works. That's not why people come to you. You just have to be honest. And if you don't know the answer, then you don't know the answer, and that's okay.
Yeah. And you can find
Um,
out, you can figure out an answer, afterwards you can go do some
yes.
research. I mean, we have so many tools to
Yes,
figure
exactly.
out.
People appreciate that. If you say, well,
Exactly.
that's a good question. I don't know, but let's figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's also, I think my work, what I do has helped me tremendously in developing myself. For example, I'm now taking singing lessons, which it sounds crazy because people who know me, they say, well, you use your voice every day. So why do you need someone to teach you how to use your voice um, in a different way? And I think it's because I just feel this huge block, like a blockage, like a wall when I even talk about that I'm taking singing lessons. It's this huge thing. It's a deal for me. So I have to challenge myself and I have to think, well,
Yeah.
What's there? Why is this so difficult? So let's do some singing lessons. So now I'm
Beautiful. Also
taking
because
singing lessons. And it's
you wanna you
terrible.
wanna you wanna grow, right? You like that. And why
Yes.
not? I mean, maybe you are already at 100%, but you can get to 120, 150, 200%. Goodness
And
knows
why
what's gonna
not? And
happen.
it's
Why
so
not?
it's such a freeing experience too. And I knew this when I first signed up. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Why did I do this? But at the same time, if you do something that you're really terrified of, and I cried the first two lessons, like just why why am I even here? I hate this. It's such a um I'm looking for the right words, but it's almost like you're standing there naked. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that bad at expressing myself when it comes to talking. But when you're using your voice in a different way, it feels so vulnerable. And I think, I often try to make, or I don't try to, but I often make people feel vulnerable by putting them in front of a camera. So it's good to, I think, keep developing that part of yourself. Keep facing those fears. And now,
Yeah.
I can sing in front of my teacher,
Wow.
which that's a big deal to me. And it doesn't have to be good, right? So I don't want you to think that I'm taking singing lessons so I can become a good singer. I'm taking singing lessons because I know I don't want to feel afraid anymore of
Yeah.
singing.
Pushing through that. Okay, that's great. So I've got just two more questions before
Yes, of
we finish
course.
up.
Yes.
Um, so one is about your book, but before your
Oh,
book, I want to ask you about, because I know that you're also a mother of three beautiful
yes.
children, and just talk to us about, because a lot of the people listening to us will be parents,
Yes.
what it's like for you to be a mother and do everything that you're doing.
Yes. It's really difficult.
And
It's a struggle. It's a balancing act every single day. And some days I
Mhm.
think, "Oh, I did it right today." And other days I feel miserable. So yesterday, for example, I had a full day shoot with video shoot and picture shoot in the morning and afternoon. And I leave very early and I come back late and I'm super tired when I come back. And it's really, it's one of those days where it's really difficult in the evening to just really be there also for my family. And then today it's one of those days where I have so much time for them because I'm also a solopreneur, so I can actually come up with my own schedule. But it's always difficult. It's always difficult because I love being with my family. I love spending time with our children. I um love helping them with their homework. Our children are 12, 9, and 8 years old. So they're all in sports. They're in soccer. They do gymnastics. Every evening of the week, there's one sport or one something that's going on, um, and I love being there for them and experiencing it with them. And at the same time, I love what I do. I love my job. So it's always a balancing act, and I think every day or every week I just take it as it goes. One thing that has helped me a lot is having a meeting with my husband every Sunday. So
a meeting.
we actually call it a meeting. Yes. So it's let's meet. We do a weekly meeting and we discuss everything that's happening that week because our schedules are absolutely crazy. And the only way for us to do what we do and make it work somewhat is to have this meeting and discuss who is going to do what when. So there's no confusion. Who is going to cook what day? Who is going to pick up what child when? And this actually has helped us so much. It's one thing that we picked up during COVID 2020 to have this weekly, sometimes two weekly meeting, just, and it sometimes will take for like 20 minutes to get through the whole week because, my husband has his own company as well. So It's a
Beautiful.
challenge. It's a
I'm sure
challenge, but
there must be an app that
there must
helps,
be. There must be.
some kind
We
of
don't,
organization.
and
And
otherwise we
actually,
should invent it.
so
We just use our Google Calendar, and we have, so I have my personal calendar, my husband has his calendar, and then we have a family calendar, and every week we go through the calendars and we decide who does what.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm sure I think I saw something about apps about doing all this
Yes,
sort of
I'm sure.
family arranging, and also getting kind of reminders on your phone. Hey, you've got your dental appointment. You should be get ready to leave in 30 minutes.
Really? That's good. I need that app. I need it.
So now we come to talking about your new book. So tell us about
Yes.
this new book that you've written.
Okay, so this started first off as I thought, well, my Video Smart book, it needs an update. So I'm just going to update this book. And I thought it was going to be a simple update about all the new tools that are around. And then I was looking through the book and I was trying to update it, and it became this whole new book because there's so much has changed in the past 3-4 years. So it became an entirely new book. It's going to be called So You Think You Can't Video. So it's for people who have a hard time creating videos in a simple way. And what I do in the book is I help you create videos in an easier way. I help you with video formats. So to think more simply when it comes to video, I help you create videos using just one shot or using just a couple of shots. I'll show you what apps there are that are very easy to use, that have ready-made edit templates for you. So really, in a nutshell, it's just creating videos in an easier, faster, simpler way. So you have time to do other things that are more important.
That's great. And when is this book coming out?
This summer.
This summer.
This
Okay.
summer, I hope.
I
So
hope this summer.
that's the plan. The plan is to come out this summer. So I have a book the book will be published in both Dutch and in English because I am Dutch. So the book will be published in the Netherlands, hopefully in June, and then later in the summer in through an American publisher in the United States, and it should be available on Amazon and everywhere, I hope.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I bought your previous book on Amazon as well, but then I also wrote to you, and you responded quite quickly, because I think there was like a resource section in there, and then I took a class as well.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was
so
wonderful. Yes, we actually released the first book during COVID time. So it was quite an interesting time. Yes. And also we did some different courses, and we now are actually working on a completely new academy. So that will be released this summer as well. So the Video Smart Academy. Also same, same focus, creating reels, creating videos, coming up with good formats, using Canva, for example, Canva AI tools to create videos faster. So yeah, it's fun. It's
looking
fun, and
forward
it's a
to
lot of
that.
work. Yes, yes.
Amazing,
I can't
amazing.
wait. I can't wait either.
So, Pilpina, we have come to the end of our time together. I'm gonna, in the description, put all your social media, social media addresses where
Yes.
they can find you on LinkedIn and Instagram, and also your email. And so if
Wonderful.
anybody wants to reach out to you, they can.
Absolutely. Yes, I would love to connect. So connect with me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active. I also like to hang out on Instagram. So feel free to connect there as well.
Yeah. And by the way, I wore the purple thing that I had in honor of your love for purple as
Oh, you
well, and
did.
pink.
That's so
Yes.
wonderful. That's so good. You're so on brand. And I'm so happy that you thought of purple when you thought of me.
I
It's,
did. I did.
yes, that's so good.
I know that it's one of your favorite colors. When,
It absolutely is.
I had to
Yes.
pick the picture for the artwork for the episode, I was like, the purple was just beautiful.
Must be
I have a coachee
purple.
of mine that is passionate about purple as well, and it's a color that
Oh,
resonates with me. It's beautiful.
it's beautiful. Yes, I really want it to be on the cover of the book as well. Purple. It has to be. So
Okay,
we're
yes,
still we're still discovering that, the designers. but I'm vouching for purple.
Yay.
Yes.
So, Pelpina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
It was so wonderful to talk to you, to get to know you a little bit better as well. So thank you for your time.
thank you. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you on the next show. Take care. Bye.
Bye.